with EV World News. We talk about electric vehicles, clean energy, and the stock market. And I'm back today on a Tuesday with our founder and chief editor, Bill Moore. How's it going today, Bill?
I am doing well. Thank you, sir. Thanks for asking.
All right. Well, uh, I'm trying some different things with my show prep today. Not that it really matters to the people who are watching, but we'll see how this plays out. Anyways, Tesla's China footprint could complicate any Tesla SpaceX deal chatter. So there's all this talk now that
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
SpaceX and Tesla are going to combine. Okay, a lot of people think it's a good idea, but here's one of the challenges. And I saw this with a company called Ultra Safe Nuclear. So Ultra Safe Nuclear a couple of years ago went bankrupt. Okay, and they had like 90 PhDs. I knew a family office that helped bankroll them. Well, this
Okay.
family office is Chinese. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So UltraSafe got blacklisted by the Department of Defense because they had taken
uh,
Chinese investment. Okay. And so there's all these issues going on. I read a conservative hit piece on EVs the other day that was talking about how dangerous it is that Canada is allowing Chinese EVs to come into Canada. And their whole talk wasn't on the fact that it's going to destroy the big three. It was
right.
talking about how the EVs are all full of sensors and all this other stuff, and all this data is going to go back to the Chinese. And maybe the
Yep, yep,
Chinese could
yep, yep.
just turn off all the cars, disable them all, and all these things. And that was really what the story was about. It wasn't about the economics or anything else. It's like,
And,
well,
and I really wonder where that story's coming from. You
yeah,
know, is this, and of course, at the moment, I don't have a lot of confidence in the federal government, given what's going on there at the Justice Department and all that stuff, or the Pentagon. So who's generating? I mean, who's gone in, taken one? Unfortunately, Sandy Monroe isn't doing this kind of business anymore because he sold the company. But is anybody going in there and taking apart these cars and looking and analyzing that firmware and that software to see if it actually represents a threat, right? I mean,
well, we already saw it in
suppose,
the Danish buses, right? We already saw it in the Danish buses,
yep,
and so we know that. I
yeah,
don't
but
know
can
how.
they turn? What are they sending back? Are they sending back location information, or is there a back door that some guy in the Chinese Politburo says, unplug them, right? And it turns off all the transit buses in Denmark or wherever.
Yeah, well, my thing was that this was basically a thing about how it was a threat to, and why we should not allow those cars to come across the border into the United States.
Right. Yeah. Now there's been a senator or a representative who's been arguing that. So
Yeah, I just,
again, is that who is the vetted source or sources? I guess what we really want is this all needs to be open source in a way, doesn't it? So that anybody can go in there and look at it. They can't rewrite it. They can read it and see whether or not it's got any backdoors or traps or doing nefarious things that are a threat to the national security of the United States. Hey, who writes the software for Tesla's cars?
right, right. Well, I mean, I could see the same thing. I mean, Tesla is one of the best-selling cars in China,
Yep.
and you could argue the same thing. You got an American car manufacturer building over 1 million cars a year in China and putting them on the streets there. That we know they're collecting data because that's a big part of Tesla's business is selling.
That's part of it. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so they're absolutely doing that. So I don't know. I don't know. This is one of the dangers of living in a free society, right? Is that there can be all of these things that are going on that in a closed society might not, right? We're
Yeah, but
comparing a
but
closed society
but
versus
do you want to live in a closed society? I sure the
no,
hell don't.
no. I get that. I mean, none of us want that, but it's And even
Case in point, what was the Wildberry? You know, you're not familiar with that?
mm-mm.
The Ukrainians are blowing up slowly the Russian version of Amazon.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen that.
right. So, you know,
They've been yeah, because and I've seen the stuff. It's like here's all the drones, here's all the drone equipment, here's all the stuff to refurbish your drone that just dropped a hand grenade, you know, and all these different things, all the military equipment they're selling. Um,
yeah.
it was really quite interesting. It's like a whole
But there's
logistic.
a society where those people haven't a clue what's really going on because the government's clamped down on them.
Right.
Unless they happen to, you know, get into some of these sort of back channel kinds of, you know, uh, I forget what they're called now. I don't frequent them, but yeah, I'd rather live in an open society. I
Yeah,
think
and
it's, you
that
know, it
company is
has its
owned.
risks.
Yeah, I saw that woman that owns that company. She's the wealthiest woman in Russia.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Although she owes the banks in Russia billions of dollars.
Hmm.
So she is just having her source of revenue, her cash flow is being literally going up into smoke up to, I think it was like 35 or 40,000 feet. That smoke cloud that was over Moscow.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I
yeah, that she 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 is going to be in, and who can bail her out? The Russian government damn near broke now. You know, how are they going to
mhm.
bail her out?
Right. No, obviously the Russian government owes her for that. I mean, it's their fault it's being blown up. So, but it's interesting because it's a really big source of that
Well,
company's.
let's just find where Putin stored all his billions and tax him. You
Yeah,
know,
or trillions. I mean,
or
at one time he
trillions.
was considered to be the wealthiest man on the planet.
Yep.
Okay, not anymore, but he was considered to be
Yeah,
that.
I read that there are something like 100 advanced air defense systems, right? 27 of which are based around his Dasha.
Wow.
Some crazy number like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
probably as many those air defense systems around his Dasha as there are around Moscow itself.
Hmm. No,
Anyway,
I'm sure. But anyways, this all came as a what we're talking here. So I don't know that it's a good idea that SpaceX, which is sort of, SpaceX is all the satellites and all these,
yep.
11,000 satellites in space for Starlink, plus, um, you know, it's
Plus SpaceX.
yeah, plus, the actual space part of it. Um,
Right.
to me, these are all essential to national defense. And I think it would be a poor look to combine the two companies.
Yeah, Ross Gerber came up with the investment guide that's kind of back and forth on whether what he thinks of Tesla and Musk. He has come up with a suggestion that what they should do is if they want to merge the companies, merge the robotic side of the company and merge Grok AI, whatever it's called. Take that into the SpaceX side, and then let Tesla continue and remain a electric car manufacturer.
That would make a lot of sense. I
Yeah,
mean, um, the robots definitely go along more with the Grok and XAI story, which is
yep,
over in SpaceX currently.
yeah.
SpaceX owns the AI side, um, but the robotics would make more sense. But yeah, I think that's inherently causing some conflict. I just remember, so ultrasafe nuclear eventually went bankrupt. So,
Right.
and their parts were bought by Standard Nuclear and Nano. And Nano is on our thing. Standard went public about 2 weeks ago, but they're not on our list. But they're a fuels company.
Okay.
So, anyways, they're a nuclear fuels company,
Looks
but they
like everybody's up in the green today. That's exciting.
Yeah, but those are
Oh,
some
we
low
got
price.
we got SpaceX on here now, huh?
Yeah,
All
Oklo
right.
is at $43. Remember, I
Wow,
told you how much I
SpaceX
paid
is
for it and
down to
sold it last year.
121.
Yeah, from the 135. It's up today, but
Oh,
it was even lower. I saw it at
yeah, but what
115
did it? What
on
didn't it get
Friday.
up to like 240 or something like that?
I know it was two something.
Yeah,
It's really done a lot, but
somebody's
Tesla,
taking a bath. Wow.
but Tesla's down a third from where it was a few months ago. So I mean, Tesla's, well, it's one of the reasons why people like trading Tesla is because of the volatility.
Yeah, Ford and Lucid are both down. I see.
Yeah.
Nvidia is up.
You
Okay.
know, in Nvidia and AMD definitely track where AI is going. Look at AMD up 8%. So Microsoft will be up too. And Microsoft's up
Ah,
1.6%.
that AMD is up in the Berkshire B shares. It looks like
Yeah.
500 and some bucks. Yeah.
Electric Viking said Tesla had record sales in Australia. That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one bit. We reported last week that the Model Y had regained status as the number one selling car in the world. Not electric car, but all cars. And
All cars.
it was the number one car in the world for like 2 years until Musk got involved in politics.
Yeah.
So now I think that's starting to wear off of people as he's not being involved anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him jump in at midterms again. But who knows?
Well, he's pledged to spend $100 million getting Republicans elected.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the Senate's going to swap. I'm pretty sure the Senate will go 51-49 for Democrats.
Yeah. Should we start a pool on whether Mitch is alive or not, and when he gets
Oh
to
yeah.
join Lindsey Graham?
Oh, that's
God, what
sad.
a circus! What a
Yeah.
circus! They try to corner his aides, right? And the aides smile and walk away as fast as they can go.
Oh, it's sad. Yeah, but that's just kind of the nature of our government. It's like they tend to be, um, you know, old. You know, but I'm glad to see Musk throw money away. Well,
He's got a well, yeah. Think about this though. That's pocket change for this guy. $100 million.
yeah, it's nothing.
That's 1/10 of a billion, and he has 1,000 billion,
I know,
something
isn't it
like that.
nuts? Yeah.
Crazy.
It's interesting sometimes to look at the scale of things. Yeah, I mentioned even like at Berkshire sitting on 300 billion in cash. It's like there's not much they can just invest that in, right? Because it's
Well,
tough.
if they, you know,
You
I mean,
know,
that's Warren said has always said his biggest problem was finding, the right company that meets his business philosophy, because he wants to give them money and let them run and do good, like do as well as they've always done in the past, right?
mhm.
So that's becoming harder. I guess he's giving away, starting to give away now his fortune to his family.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to pass anything on to them. Not that
No,
they
I,
didn't
I
need it.
think, well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Hey, would you give
I
me a
think he's,
job? My dad is Warren Buffett. Would you mind giving me a job in private equity?
yeah,
Or
exactly.
yeah, or Coca Cola or something like that. It's like well, the kids didn't need his money anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
when
his son, I don't know about the other kid, but his son's done, Howard has done some really interesting things with respect to agriculture. So, that's I don't know what the other kids are doing with it. You never hear about them.
no, I think YouTube's having some problems right now. I saw all of our YouTube watchers disappear and my own YouTube tie up. So something's going on.
Oh,
Anyways,
on YouTube today? Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
don't know what's going on there. Tesla's July Europe registrations were mixed, even as EV demand stayed healthy. Reuters says Tesla's July European registrations were uneven, even though the broader EV market kept moving. This is, I think, Reuters. Whoever's writing this is probably like an anti-Tesla person. He's trying to find a way to spin the
try,
Model Y
try to,
because it's not selling a car. They're
yeah,
saying it didn't sell
yeah,
that well in some countries.
yeah. Well,
Germany,
the thing is though, is that what is it? God, let's get this right. Is something like 50% of the market share in Europe now is Chinese vehicles.
yeah,
So they're getting some serious competition.
yeah.
Oh, and what is it? And Ford has done a deal now with Geely to build Geely electric cars in cooperation with Ford. I guess Ford facilities in Spain.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's Chinese, or they might have trouble getting into the U.S. market. Although Jim Farley says that won't last very long.
Well,
He
good for
knows
Ford.
this.
I mean, Ford needs the boost.
Oh
I like Ford as a company. I always have, and
yeah,
I don't want to see them go away. So if it means doing some stuff like that, good for them. You it's certainly not affecting them here in the United States. But I don't see the problem with some of this. But it's interesting. This Reuters article was definitely written as a kind of a hit piece. Says Germany and incentive heavy markets, which Germany is not one of those, look like the places to watch. It means the Tesla comeback story is still fragile, not uniform. Tesla is not automatically capturing industry growth. Country by country execution is mattering more now. And I thought, that's
well, again, it's they've got some stiff. There was competition there. If you're a German, you're going to stick with German products. You got Mercedes and Audi and VW. Excuse me.
yeah. Well,
To go
Owen,
with.
they have the Maverick. Is that right? That's the Maverick's the
It's the
small truck,
The
right?
Maverick,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
and they have it as a hybrid, right? They don't have it as a plug-in hybrid. It's like you'd think they'd have a plug-in hybrid version of the Maverick, because it gets great gas mileage even as just a hybrid. But you'd think they would add that, and yes, it does. There's lots of vehicles I see on the
It's
road that would really make
yeah.
more sense if they had a fully electric version of it. But you'd think they wouldn't need to drop the Lightning. You'd think there'd be some other way to make that investment they made in those assembly lines work out.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a supplier issue there. Clearly they've done plug-in hybrids before. They have that
Mhm.
engineering expertise. I'm just wondering if it's a supplier issue. Can they get X 100,000 parts or whatever they need to make that work in that particular model?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting to be fun to be a fly on the wall, wouldn't it? In some of these boardrooms and engineering and
Owen, we reported that Ford is working on a two-door electric truck. So right at $30,000. So it would be basically the Ford Ranger from like the '90s as an electric truck, which is something we'd like to see. Which makes me feel worse for the Slate idea because it's like you're really going to be, somebody's going to then be competing with Ford on that. But we'll
well,
see.
it's a yeah, but it's their strategy is a little bit different over slates. You're going to get a bare bones vehicle that you can. I mean, it's only one color, so there's all these kind of modifications. So I think there's a role for that. That Ford with their traditional model, can't doesn't want to replicate. I guess I could, but they don't want to replicate it. So what
Um,
do you got here? Ford Ranger, Tesla boasts biggest sales ever. Petrol dying. Yeah, well, that'll happen eventually, but
a Model Y 6. Oh yeah, they made it an extended Model Y,
that's the YL, isn't it?
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean they
it's called
dropped
the
the Model
Y.
X, and so they just lengthened the Y a little bit.
Yeah,
It didn't have the Falcon doors.
which has always been. I mean, they were cool, but they were problematic. So,
Were they?
oh, well, yeah, they had. That's one of the reasons it took them so long to bring it to market after they announced it. It's one of those, we're going to see this in 2 years, and 4 or 5 years later, it finally shows up. And the problem was is that the Falcon doors were just a lot more complicated engineering wise than they thought it was going to be.
They've always seemed really cool. Let's see. So BYD's July sales rose again, driven by exports, 21.8% year over year. They exported 419,000 vehicles in July. That's almost, that's almost that's right at a 5 million vehicle annual run rate.
Do you know what caught my attention? And I wrote a piece for AI, my assistant, and I wrote
Mhm.
a piece on how do you produce one electric vehicle a minute? Think about that. Tesla produces one new electric vehicle every minute. How in the hell can you do that? I mean, what are they? So there's a piece on the website that explains how they do that, how they have one new electric vehicle roll off the assembly line every minute of the day. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, that just seems nuts. Let's see. Chinese EV delivery scoreboard. NIO is strong, Xpeng steady, Li Auto a little softer. Now, all of those are public companies, I believe. NIO deliver so compared to BYD that did almost 420,000. NIO delivered about 36,000 vehicles in July, also up 71%, according to its official release. Now, that's significant because NIO is on the New York Stock Exchange.
Right. Yep.
So, but Xpeng did more. They delivered 38,000 vehicles, and Li Auto did 30,000. But Li did that many last year, so they were roughly the same as the year before.
Of course, the question you have to ask, are those vehicles delivered or are those vehicles sold? Because sometimes, and wouldn't
They
surprise me
use the
if
term
U.S.
delivery. They're using the term delivery here.
Okay, delivery is one thing. That means they've gone out the door and they've gone out to a dealer and they sit on the dealer's lot. And now it's the dealer's job to sell the vehicle. So there's a difference between what gets delivered and what actually gets sold. And oftentimes, the what happens to those delivered vehicles, um, is another story.
Oh yeah, I guess that does make a difference. All right, Rivian's spinoff also is finally delivering e-bikes.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I think I saw an ad, a video for that bike. Now that you mention it,
mhm. Yeah. So, anyways, TechCrunch reported Rivian backed also will start delivering its first e-bikes after delays. The bigger idea is that Rivian's ecosystem thinking may extend beyond pickups and SUVs into small electric mobility. But is this really going to move the needle on Rivian? No, not
no,
really. But it's still
probably
they're
not.
doing it. You
Probably
know.
not. No,
Let's see.
you got too. You got too much competition from Taiwanese manufacturers and Vietnamese manufacturers and Chinese. I mean, I get emails constantly. Got one this just 2 days ago from a
Yeah.
Chinese company that's got a really good looking electric bike. And they wanted to know, if we have some kind of arrangement or something. I said, yeah, give me one to test. I
Yeah.
didn't hear back.
It's not really a big ask, honestly.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
All right, Lucid has an earnings call today, sometime this afternoon. Be interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, because they're down this morning. What was it? Forget. I just saw it, but they're down. There's talk, constant, rumors and speculation about, they're going to declare bankruptcy. Of course, Saudis have a significant stake in the company, so whether they'll let that happen or not, who knows? But then they got their own struggles right now, trying to get the oil out of the country.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't
You
see
got the
Lucid going
Iranians.
bankrupt anytime soon.
Yeah, you got the Iranians, blockading, shutting off traffic willy-nilly in Strait of Hormuz, and then you got the Houthi, or whatever you call them, the Red Sea port, where the pipeline out of the oil fields ends over on the Red Sea side, that can be attacked by the Houthi. So
Hmm.
they're having issues.
Yeah. Well, be interesting to see how that all plays out this year. Anyways, yeah, I've heard the Iranians probably won't truly honor a truce until after the midterms.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I am despite being half German, literally, I love America. I love being here. I love being a part of this country, and I've been it since I was a year and a half old, right?
Mhm.
But in this particular struggle, I I have to I have a certain part of me that appreciates what the Iranians are doing with respect to social media, not what they're doing militarily, kinetically, but with what they're doing socially on social media to stymie the current U.S. government. I sit back and I admire what they're doing. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, they got to do what they can, right? I mean, there's
they
only
got to
so
do what
many
they can.
people,
Absolutely, you're
only
going
so many
against the.
things they can do to fight back, right?
Yep, absolutely, and they're doing and they're doing a hell of a job of it. Honestly,
Yeah.
what's the
Let's
approval
see.
the approval rating or the disapproval rating of the American public is something like, what was it, like 85%, some number like that, disapprove of the war with the Iranians now.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean,
Yep,
most of the time, I just can't imagine a lot of people approving of war.
yep,
I mean, in general, but yeah, I get that. Um, all right. Used EV prices are appreciating. They're not supposed to do that.
yeah.
Used cars are supposed to go down in value. All right. Used EV demand is up roughly 20% year over year, and prices are rising across many top selling models. So while new EV sales are down, used ones are going up. Higher
Hmm.
fuel costs, stronger evidence of battery longevity, and more attractive 2 and 4 year old off lease pricing. The EV market is improving the ownership value story, not just the new car story. Uh, and I was telling Bill, I've been shopping for a specific Model Y, and I keep seeing the price go up, and it's been kind of driving me crazy. So I've been watching this, and I just thought maybe so because we live in a part of the country where there's not a whole lot of used EVs. There just
Right.
aren't, and
Yeah.
so I'm having to look at like ones for sale way out west, because
Right.
most of them come from California. And the thing is, there's supposed to be at least 400,000 Model Ys coming off lease this year, but they're all in the second half of the year. Well, we're in the second half now, but it's like, where are they? You know, that's kind of,
They're being bought by being bought by auction houses and
yeah,
sold
they're
for
being
for
snapped up.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're the prices are going up on them, and it's really kind of aggravating to see that. And part of the theory is it's because of the price of oil and all that, but part of it also is the fact that there's deals out there to be had, right? And when you have the original price these things sold at, you already took the $7,500 off that price, right? So
Right.
and experienced that, and people called it massive depreciation on the car. Well, it's like, well,
Well,
it,
no.
it really isn't. It really isn't. Depreciation on EVs actually isn't greater than the equivalent gas car um, once you
When
take
you
out
take when you,
that.
yeah, when you take the $7,500 into
Yeah, if you
account,
go
yeah.
from the price minus the $7,500, it's um, yeah, no difference. Yeah,
Yeah, Owen's not going to give his soul. You like that Solterra, huh? Good.
yeah. I've got a friend out car shopping. He wants a Subaru in California, and I sent him. There's up to $3,500 off
Yes.
on a new
Yes.
EV and 1,750 on a used EV. And I was suggesting to him to look at the Solterra if he's going to buy a Subaru. And to be fair, he's in the green space, but a lot.
Yeah.
Meaning he runs a nonprofit and he does everything from pollution, soil pollution, air pollution. He's promoted our show on their platform, um, and I've spoken at their events. So he's the person who runs Earthstock. So, anyways, I was showing this to him and about the price breaks because he was specifically looking for a Subaru, and it's like, well,
I
there you go.
Yeah, I got an email today from I don't know, wholesaler or something like that, saying they've got a one of a kind BZ4 for sale. I forget what it was going for, but looked like an attractive deal. I mean, I already own two. I don't need any more. So
Right. Um, all right. We already covered the one car per minute.
we haven't. Did we talk about the 156,000 or no 50 156 hunt?
No, we haven't
Right,
talked about the new.
156 Chinese model electric cars. God, I'll get it right
Yeah.
here.
In the second half of 2026, a whopping 156 new electric vehicle models are expected to hit the Chinese auto market. That's just crazy to think about. From the perspective of American looking, we don't even have 156 EV models, period.
We don't
Uh,
have, well, we might have 10% of that.
yeah, I mean, for a long time, it was just a couple of cars, right? And then it kept
Oh,
going
yeah.
up and up and up. And now it's just like, wow. But there's so many Chinese EV makers.
And they can adapt so damn quickly. What is it? Is it Cattle or BYD has something like 20,000 engineers? Some incredible number of people that they can, I forget which one it was, but one of those, either the battery maker or the battery maker and car maker, in the case of BYD, their engineering staffs are like enormous. Well, they got to be doing something, and of course, they're all being encouraged to innovate where they can and steal where they can't. So
It's funny. I was looking at the article from Yahoo on the EVs going up in the resale market and the comments. They were saying, nobody wants to buy a used EV or all this. And it's like, well, obviously the article is just showing you they're going up in price.
yeah,
Somebody out
right.
there is buying them. The problem is we live in a country, and I've seen even just the way people speak. They say there's like 7 different dialects just in the United States of English. And we don't sound like people from England, or Australia, or New Zealand, or South Africa. They all speak slightly differently too.
All right.
And but we have such different customs. You and I live in Nebraska, and it's very different from California in so many ways. And people don't,
Or the east,
you know,
or the East Coast,
but
and
it's funny.
particularly the South.
But
That's
but if
probably the.
you live in our part of the country, you might know what a Tesla looks like, but you probably don't realize the other EVs are electric. Okay, because you probably don't know them, if you get what I mean. Especially like the F-150 Lightning. Okay, you
Yeah.
really it's hard to tell unless you really recognize that the grill is solid. Um, but when you go to California, EVs are everywhere. And anywhere on the left coast, you've got about every fourth car is electric.
Yeah. Well, but that's changing. I was at the Sarpy County Fair here last week, and uh, we were right across from the Google booth. And
Hmm.
so there's a couple of Google engineers sitting there. So I walked over to talk to the Google engineers. The one engineer drives a plug-in hybrid,
Hmm.
and the other one drives a Mustang Mach-E,
Hmm.
right? So I go for my walk around the neighborhood here, and it's unusual that I don't see at least one Tesla, and occasionally I'll see two or three Teslas and the odd electric, Mustang Mach-E or something, or the occasional, Cybertruck. So they're
Right.
becoming more
No,
popular.
no, I mean they're here. I'm just saying though, but you go to California, they're
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can see cars in sight in California, some of them are electric.
If you go to the same in Seattle, right? You go to Seattle, they're everywhere, everywhere.
Well, and you look Well, and you also have, like in your part of the country, Owen, is the only place I ever really see Lucids. So when I'm in Arizona, um, I always see Lucids driving around. They're, that stainless steel look. It's hard to miss that, right? They got a kind of unique um, reflective stainless design.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to cover one more article.
Okay.
Ferrari hits their 2026 sales target for the polarizing Luce EV within 2 months.
Yes.
So they got
Yes.
so much. Now, I'm I've got more to say on this than what the article talks about. But people have talked about how ugly this is for Ferrari. Their stock dropped 8% after this was released.
They're not going to put the prancing pony on it. This is
This
what the
logo,
president said. Yeah, the CEO of the company said we're not going to put the prancing pony on it, but if you look at that photograph just
it's
behind the left front
yeah, it's
wheel,
there.
the
Yeah, but
prancing
that's a
pony.
photo. That's a photo from when the Pope was looking at it, because you can't see him on this picture. But
Right.
the Pope was originally in this photo shoot.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's a 550,000 euro model, and well, there's been calls to remove the prancing horse badge, and you're saying the CEO has said they're going to do that. But
I,
500
I,
units sold quickly.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
only planning to build like 2,500 between now and 2030, something like that.
Yeah. So here's one of the things that I would have to say about this, and this is true also for Porsche. So if you want to buy like a Porsche 911 GT4, you have to have already owned like 10 Porsches previously. Okay, I mean it's some crazy stuff, and you
Before they
can't.
talk to you.
Right. Okay, and that could be the case here because you can't buy a Ferrari, a new one, unless you've owned a used one previously. So you can't just buy a Ferrari. Um, so it's a little different. Um, and you have to get approved as a customer to buy a Ferrari. And that's the reason why they have in excess of $100,000 profit margins in every car they sell.
Yeah.
So I suspect, maybe they let some non-Ferrari owners buy one new. So they may have slipped that in there. That gives people their first opportunity to buy one, and
To buy
it's
into Ferrari, right?
yeah. So and maybe that's only true of the limited edition ones, but um, I'm just saying that there's other factors here, but still, you know,
Did
I don't
they?
think.
Do they control the resale on these things? I wonder. You know how Toyota, or not Toyota, but Tesla said if you buy a Cybertruck, you can't flip it, right? You have to keep it, or we'll fine you, some number, or we'll take it back, or whatever.
I'm pretty
I'm just,
sure they do. I think you have to keep it for at least a year, and that's true also of like that Porsche 911 GT4.
yeah.
So there's some Porsches that do that too. So you can't just buy them and flip them like that. So um, yeah, I know they have some mechanism in place,
So I
but
can't. So I couldn't put an order for one, take one, and quickly flip it, right?
I don't think so. And unless once again, maybe they're skirting that rule for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
never know.
I like the look of it. It was done by John Ivy, so
The Apple guy, right?
yeah, the Apple guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, Bill, that's all I got for
Hey,
today.
been fun.
Yeah, folks, thanks for watching. I'll be back with our engineer Mike Herzog on Friday. Otherwise, folks, have a great day. Thanks for watching.